Still chilly today. I think I got a lot of cool mist shots actually. Looking forward to the rest of the year actually when the weather changes and so forth at the different perspectives. And what did I read today? Well, lots of CES stuff in this day, of course, but with that said, apparently there was a Department of Defense list released in the US banning Autel drones because recently there's talks about banning all Chinese-made drones, for example, DJI as well. So you can see they're on this list, and Autel made a statement about it too. As it says here, on January 6, 2025, the US Department of Defense issued a news release listing Autel Robotics among Chinese military enterprises. That's the technicality to, I suppose, put them under a microscope. It says, in response, the company hereby makes the following statement. As a high-tech enterprise specializing in civil drones, Autel Robotics is not a defense contractor nor a supplier to the military and does not possess any military qualifications. Since its establishment, Autel Robotics has always strictly adhered to both Chinese and international laws and regulations, focusing on the development of the civil market. The company has never participated in any military-related activities and firmly rejects the improper use of its products. We will communicate with the relevant US government departments to clarify the misunderstanding. It says this is an official announcement. Well, it's kind of interesting, I guess, during these times, especially with like CES and all that. If you're looking for a new drone, are you going to avoid, I guess, these companies because of the potential geopolitical issues? Even if, let's just say, nothing wrong with it, you're going to carry a risk if you invest, let's just say, $5,000 in some drone just to find out, okay, you're not allowed to use this for these purposes, like working on government contracts or something like that. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how this turns out. Because with that said, it sounds like China is responding to the US in regards to saying, for example, Chinese-made drones pose some kind of security risk. This one here says, China says US suspicion of security risks in Chinese drones is, quote, irresponsible. China called the United States extremely irresponsible for groundlessly suspecting there are information security risks in China's drone systems, its Commerce Ministry said on Tuesday. China is strongly dissatisfied with and firmly opposes the US investigating its drone systems and said it will closely monitor the situation. China also urged the US to respect facts and immediately stop what it called erroneous practices. Well, that's kind of an interesting wording there, saying it opposes the US investigating its drone systems. Wouldn't it just be one of those, hey, we got nothing to hide, here you go? Because if you're in the right, you can prove, I guess, that they are just simply paranoid or trying to do some kind of witch hunt. That's what I would think anyways. And so the US Commerce Department said on Thursday it was considering new rules that would impose restrictions on Chinese drones to restrict or ban them in the United States, citing national security concerns. Well, it's kind of like what I said before. It's one thing to have, let's just say, the best drone in the world, the best flight time, the best camera and all that, but if you can't fly it wherever you are, then what's the point? So I guess you'll have to do your research. Don't just rely on big buzzwords or people, for example, paid to tell you this is the best thing ever. You have to really do your research whether or not you're actually going to be able to fly the thing, I guess, eventually. And with that thought, actually, in some places, they're actually lifting drone bans, which is kind of interesting, considering a lot of people have this fear of drones, for example. And this one here says, personal drone ban partly lifted by UAE authorities. A ban on people in the UAE flying drones has been partly lifted, the Ministry of Interior announced on Tuesday. Coming into effect immediately, the authority, along with the National Emergency Crisis and Disaster Management Authority and General Civil Aviation Authority, noted that the use of drones will be subject to specific safety conditions aimed at protecting the community and airspace. Detailed guidelines and requirements for drone use are available through the UAE Drones app and the official government website, the announcement said. And according to this, as to why it was initially banned, it says the ban was introduced in January 2022 after a series of attempted attacks on Abu Dhabi by the Yemen-based Houthis. Restrictions on the use of aerial drones and light sports aircraft were then extended until further notice by the Ministry of Interior. Companies with essential commercial projects were advised at the time to apply to the authority to ask for an exemption. I would imagine for a lot of places too, if they don't lighten up in terms of just a blanket ban, they're going to fall behind tech-wise, just out of the fear. For one, you won't have people with the knowledge to actually use the equipment in general. And two, you're just going to be dependent on other countries, I guess, to make the tech and stuff for you. So I'm not surprised in this case where they're lifting it. Alright, see you guys later.